Hello, my name is Eric. I'm going to go over how to replace the batteries in these Colorado timing systems. You know, these clocks, these shot clocks in Colorado. If you're a water polo coach, you know what I'm talking about. That's basically what these are. Pace clocks sometimes, but mostly shot clocks for Colorado. So the first thing I did is basically just take off the cover. There's 4 bolts. I guess I should go this one. 4 bolts, just take off those 4 bolts. This plate comes off very simply. Alright, so I'm going to go over the newer model first. That's this one here. It's very simple. There's a screw right here. Once you take that off, you just take the screw off here. Now I've already replaced these batteries, so I'm not going to replace them. Okay, but I made a video prior. You just slide it out, right? Slide it out, disconnect these and replace this battery, okay? You can get this battery on Amazon. I think I spent like less than $20. I'll put a link in the description below. If you use that link, I'll get a kickback of some kind. I don't know how much, probably not much, but you know, if you're looking at this, maybe that'll help. Anyway, I know the price doesn't go up though. Anyway, so you just buy a new one of these, put these in. Take the old ones. I took the old ones to AutoZone, and AutoZone gave me a $10 credit. So really, it's almost like $10 basically to replace the batteries in this pretty cheaply. All right, so that's pretty simple. That's all you really got to do. You can test them when you get them out. Make sure they have 12 volts, which this one does. So now I made a previous video and I got rid of it basically because I went over how to, you know, like you could survive these by taking the top off, putting water in them, you know. But when I did that, like I charged it back up and like acid just went everywhere, all inside here. It just made a big mess. So I'd suggest just replacing the battery for $20. It's worth it. Well, it's $40 if you buy 2. I would replace both of them at the same time, both batteries. And then it'll probably last you a long time. All right. So that's really it with the new ones. The newer models are so much easier than the older models. Just put that back in. Now this right here, I would suggest putting this in by hand. Okay. I had another one where I was doing this, and I used this thing here. And I cross-threaded this, putting it in, and it was super hard to get out. I mean, I had to use a hacksaw. It was a mess. It took like an hour. So I would just use a hand one to put this back in, okay? You can use this to put this back in, right? Just screw that back in. That's pretty simple. Now the older models, this is the older model here. This is a bit more of a challenge, okay? So for this one, you have to basically, you can't see, maybe I'll disconnect this and show you the other. Okay, so for this model, you have to basically take this whole thing out. This is the older model, and that's a pain. You got to go down below, and there's 4 screws down there. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see them? Not the black ones, but those. Okay, you unscrew all of those. Pull this out, because the charge is on the other side. Then you take these screws off. This folds back. You put in a new battery, and you reverse the whole order. So that's a bit more of a challenge, but not that. All right, so like I was talking about, I would definitely replace both batteries at the same time. Once you're there, you know, you get these last 4 screws in. They work great, and they will last a long time. If you replace both of them, just replace one. It's like replacing one in your remote control. It's not going to do great. Okay, so you want to replace both of them. Now this right here, I've replaced this. It comes with this plug here. So much easier. This thing breaks all the time. So if you want to check that out, there's another video I made that you can look on how to replace this. It's very simple. It's not hard at all. So if you want to try it. Now one thing I would talk about here is this button right here. If you're running these on batteries a lot, you know, you can get more time out of them by reducing the intensity of the numbers, okay? So I'll try to, this is really close up. I wish I could kind of back it out a little bit. Let's see what I can do, because you need to see the top. Hang on one sec. Okay, so like I was talking about before, in order to help your battery last longer, this button right here, if you use this button, you can adjust the intensity of the light, and that will help your batteries last longer, okay? I should have turned this on before I started the video, okay? But I'm gonna go through this real quick. So basically that button goes through all sorts of different menus. The main menu being these things here, if you want the different pans. So if you have like 4 shot clocks on a deck, right, you can have them run 2 different things. That way they sync, these 2 sync and those 2 sync instead of all 4 of them syncing together. So that's one way to do it. You just have to change the pan. You can look it up if you just Google, shot clock instructions. It'll teach you how to do all that. Or maybe I can make another video on that. But anyway, so by using this button here, I'll hold it down for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 seconds. And you'll see there, okay, that's 12 hour. So you can go 12 hour or 24 hour if you want the time to change, right? Go to the next one. That's the time when you want to change the time to match up. And by replacing that inner battery, that will help with that. So you can, there's another video I have where I do that. There's the minutes of the time of day, hours there. This one right here, ambient light, AL. Okay, now this you can adjust the intensity, right? So if I change, now that I'm here, because every time you hold it, it goes to the next level. Now I'll just push it once instead of holding the button. All right, so that's intensity, right? Intensity is high. Well, that's a really high one. It was on medium, right? So ambient light, which I don't know. I guess that's the lightest, brightest, I don't know. Anyway, so that's the lowest intensity, medium intensity, high intensity, and then AL, okay? So I put it on medium. That way it's bright, but your batteries will last longer that way as well. All right? And then once you're there with that, just hold the button down until you get back to where you want to go. That's how you change the P and everything like that. And then it runs, okay? So that's a way to adjust the intensity for the battery to last longer. If you want it brighter or less bright, plus replace the batteries, which is super simple. All right, we'll see ya.